Hey, Debra D here. Welcome to Pet Love. Feeling free, I feel alive, yeah. Peace of mind, I couldn't find that. Judge my flaws, you're dead inside, dead. Can't believe you got in my head. Won't forgive what you said to me. Living like a bad dream on repeat. Trying to destroy my identity. Don't care what they say, I'm in love with me. Bad vibes, I don't need your company, no. Pull up in a G-Class, life is G-good. Playing in a G5 straight to Hollywood. I have not been lost, I have misunderstood. Now, why are we singing about my In Love With Me? This is my new song, one of my new songs on my album called Rebel. And I think this is so important to this Pet Love series. And why is that? Because there are tremendous health benefits that have been documented for pet ownership over the last 25 years. And I just found it really compelling. So I wanted to share some of those statistics information with you today. And all of these things are available on the web, so it's not like I'm making this up, but you can go out there and read it for yourself. But, you know, I think pets are so important right now, especially in a time when people are feeling very anxious. A lot of uncertainty that we're facing due to the pandemic, due to unemployment, due to inflation. I mean, you name it, all these scammers running around, stealing people's houses, stealing people's money. I mean, it's just a horrible situation. So let's go through some of these health benefits. And by the way, it's estimated that about 70% of U.S. households actually own pets. So it's a big part of our lives. 70% of the people in the United States of America own pets. Just think about that. That's a lot of pets. Now that could be a cat, a dog, a fish. It could be just about anything. It could be exotic. You know, it could be snakes, could be lizards, could be a lot of things. But here are some of the health benefits that they've documented. And this is really amazing. So it lowers blood pressure because you're less apt to be anxious. And if you are, you can come in the house, let's say you have a dog or a cat. You know that when you look at them, they're either gonna lick you, kiss you. They're not going to give you a bad time. They're not going to say, oh, you shouldn't have done that. It's unconditional love. And so it's something that you can take solace in and rest in and have certainty in. So lowering blood pressure, it lessens your anxiety. It boosts your immunity because of it. They say that stress causes a horrible amount of diseases because your immunity is lowered. And I run around stressed out a lot, so I need to take that to heart. Oh yeah, and since we're in the month of Love-uary, our February time, Love-uary, when you take your dog out, now think about this. You take your dog out to the dog park, you take your dog around the neighborhood, or maybe you drive to a really ritzy neighborhood and take your dog for a walk. Well, guess what happens? People admire your dog or your cat or whatever you've got on your string. You might even be walking your rabbit, but they admire your pet. They stop, they ask questions, you have a conversation. Great icebreaker. No pickup lines, no stupidness, just a great, real conversation. So that's an attractive feature of pet ownership. And I also love the fact that you get exercise. So if you're out walking your dog, walking with your cat, doing some physical exercise, the animal gets exercise, you get exercise, you get to meet people. And guess what? If you don't want to talk to people, you don't have to. I mean, you can go to, we have a track up here by our house, and we go up there, and that's where we walk. So it's quiet, it's nice, you get some peace, you get some serenity. So again, and the animal can relax, and you can have a good time, and you can laugh and throw balls and just have some fun. Some other interesting facts. Now, this I found on the internet from a magazine called Fortunately, and it's an article by iMitech, and it came out July the 6th of this year. So, get this, the market spend in the U.S. alone for this year is going to be an estimated $109.6 billion on pet-related stuff. Pet food, pet beds, pet outfits, pet treats, pet toys, medicine, anything to do with pets. It's almost $110 billion that they believe 70% of the American U.S. households are going to spend this year on their pet. And another interesting thing is an average annual expense for a pet dog runs about $1,380. Now that's important because even if you get your dog for free or your cat, you're still going to have vet expenses, licensing expenses, but most of all, you want to buy your pet something wonderful. I mean, some pets have allergies, so they have to have special diets that cost extra money on the food. But it also goes on to say in this article, in the Fortunately article, that at least once a month, the pet owners give a gift to their pets. So, I know I was guilty of that. Every time I went shopping, I always went to the pet aisle. If I was in a department store, if I was at TJ Maxx, Tuesday morning, wherever I went, I always looked to see, oh, I wonder if they have a pet aisle. Even when I pumped gas in my car, I went and got a little snack for me, a little snack for Elsa. So, hey, it does add up. So, when you're thinking about can you afford a pet and you're being a good owner of that pet, a good master, you want to make sure you got the budget so you can take good care of your pet. And this is a sad number. So only 2.1% of pets, household pets, are insured. So if you get in a car accident, the animal gets hurt, only 2.1% of the people have insurance to help pay for medical bills, or if the pet gets killed, or if there's some other situation going on. So you might want to take a look at how inexpensive pet insurance is, and you might want to factor that into your budget. Just saying, it might help out a lot. And this was really a clincher for me. So when millennials are going out to buy their first home, their biggest influence to buy their first home is their dog. They got to have a place for their dog. It has to be dog friendly. It has to be dog happy. It has to be able to flow with the dog. So I thought that was really, really interesting. What a change in our society. And let's see, what else? Oh, this was a real thing. So later on in this video, you're going to see an interview with Tyler Cooksey, a friend of mine, and we're going to meet his two beautiful pets, Teddy and Benson. Teddy is almost 100 pounds, and Benson is a kitty. She's about 15 pounds, I believe. But anyways, he told me that he spends $300 a month feeding Teddy. I believe it. Teddy hasn't missed a meal, and he's as solid as a rock. And he's very healthy, but he has to be on a special diet because of his allergies. So get this, 1 in 10 Americans who own pets have either put off having children or put off altogether having more children because of their pet expenses. So I just got to tell you, vets are not cheap. And sometimes I think vets are more expensive than, you might imagine, but they did a comparison in this article also. and you can pull it up and read more about it. But in the article, it said that health insurance for yourself, that expense is very comparable monthly to what it could be for your pet. So when you're budgeting and you're thinking about, hey, can I afford this pet? Can I buy him all these great little outfits? Can I take him out to the park? Can I get a little fancy leash and collar like Paris Hilton has? You know, you got to factor in what, the healthcare costs are. And you might want to take a look at health insurance or pet insurance, as they call it, and see what's available in your area. Now, one more little tidbit. So obviously, COVID's been going on and we haven't had New York Fashion Week in the way that we normally used to celebrate New York Fashion Week. But I did go through some of my old footages. And when we filmed up in New York in 2017 at New York Fashion Week, Farah and Sophia got to walk on the catwalk and the runway and demonstrate the clothing. And they asked me if I would like to do it too, but Farah said no. So there went my big break. Anyway, while people were like in the back getting ready to go up and stage, I was lucky enough to be in the back with the designer who had the coolest show out of everything I saw up there. And these were beautiful models walking with their pet dogs, and the dogs had matching outfits to the owners. I was just stunned at how beautiful these outfits were. And I'm going to share 3 of those clips with you. Right after this introduction, you're going to be able to see that. And I love the hats. I love one was wearing like a wedding dress with a veil. I mean, the creativity was incredible. Now, I don't know how much those outfits would cost if you had to go buy them, but I'm thinking got to be pricey because the material was lace, or it had pearls, or it had sequins, just all kinds of little glamorous touches to make your pet feel really outstanding. So I hope you will enjoy the New York Fashion Week behind the scenes pet preview. And then after that, you're going to see Tyler Cooksey, my friend. I'm going to his house during this episode, and you will meet his puppy, Teddy, and you will meet his kitty, Benson, and you will see that they actually, believe it or not, love one another. And I was really surprised when Tyler walked in with Benson, how Teddy just went ape and started licking him and loving on him. But they chase each other through the house and say, you got to be really, really on your guard. Because if Teddy hits you, he's like almost 100 pounds and he's solid. So it's like, you either better stand firm or get the hell out of the way. Anyway, I have enjoyed doing this Pet Love series, and I would appreciate it if you love it. Let me know if you'd like to see any other kind of series. Let me know about that too. I would love to hear your ideas and share your pet information with me. I love pets. And please share this, my YouTube channel, share the link, subscribe if you like it, and let others know about my channel. And let's get my subscribers up and enjoy the Love You Wary Pet Love final episode here. Thank you for watching. And don't forget, go on Spotify, follow me there, and stream and love with me. Self-love is also very healing. And I wish you all very happy pet love. Hi, this is Debra. I'm at New York Fashion Week, and look at these beautiful dogs that are here, and their beautiful little outfits. Look at this. And there's a dog over here on the table. It's hard to see. doggy's name?
Excuse me?
What's your
Roxy.
dog? Roxy? Oh, she's rocking that dress. Another little cute doggy at the Fashion Week in New York City. And this dress matches the dress that the lady's wearing. And look at this one. He is just awesome.
That is amazing.
I love that. So she's going to walk with this dress, right?
Yes.
I think he likes it.
Oh, you look too cute. It's been a really great time with our big, huge, I should say. How many pounds is he?
He's 95 pounds.
95-pound Teddy.
Teddy. Yep.
And Teddy, this is my first time I'm getting to meet Teddy. So I was asking my friend Tyler here, who you know from being on MTV with us and many other things, but I was asking him if he would do a pet love story with us because he has a really cool story to tell. And he has 2 fur babies, Teddy, and what's your kitty's name?
Her name is Benson, and she's a hider. She hides
Benson,
away.
who I have yet to see, because when I came in, Teddy was barking, so Benson headed for the hills, which I can understand, because when you've got a big boy like this going, I think everybody needs to hide.
Yeah.
But I'm lucky, he loved me.
He does. He does love
And I
you.
think it's because he smelled Elsa's scent on my pants and on my coat and everything. So this is all cool. So today we're at Tyler's house. And although he's not my next door neighbor or in my neighborhood, we share so many things that we like.
Yeah.
Antiques and decorating and of course Farrah.
Yeah.
And just a whole bunch of other cool stuff. So Teddy, look at him, he's looking, he's like, who's talking about
He's
me?
got his baby right now.
What's going on? Uh-oh. Anyway, Tyler's gonna tell us how Teddy and he met.
Yeah. So Teddy is actually he just turned 3 on the 10th, and he's gonna just go on about his way, and that's okay. He is a pit bull and a beagle mix, which means he does have a little bit like longer fur, a little bit more fur texture as a beagle, but he definitely has the size and personality of a pit bull. Personality meaning he's very vocal, he is hyper, and he loves to be around people. And if he wants to love you, he's going to force it on you. But we've had Teddy here at the house about 2.5 years now, and he was actually
He is very loving.
Teddy.
Hello.
Teddy, come on, don't coddle people. Oh, I'm sorry. Teddy,
There we go.
he was posted for free on Facebook. And I was actually at the dentist getting Botox when I see the post, and I was like, okay, I need to reschedule. We were halfway through, and I was like, I gotta go pick up this dog. We picked him up, and he had a pretty bad go with fleas and some ticks, and we got him all cleaned up, and we've had him ever since.
How much did he weigh then?
He was probably about 15 pounds then.
Okay, so he was pretty good size.
Yeah, he was pretty big puppy, and he looked just like a beagle at the time, so we didn't think much of it. But we knew that he had big paws, so we knew he had something to grow into. But it was in the next 3 months that we knew his head and his jaws became very wide, so we kind of knew we were gonna have a bigger dog on our hands for sure. But we've really enjoyed him. He's a great personality to have here, and he's really changed the hearts and minds of a lot of people who had negative connotations when it comes to pit bulls. I think that they have a pretty bad reputation, and Teddy defies those stereotypes every day by just sharing the love that he's got to give.
Well, first of all, I think Teddy is adorable, even though he is gigantic. But I will tell you this is a dog that David would like.
Yeah.
Because David, being the dog lover that he is, he likes dogs, I will say, that are kind of supersized.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like where myself, I would probably have a petite little thing, something that I wouldn't be afraid of.
Yeah, yeah, like a Pomeranian or something.
But, you know, David likes outdoorsy type dogs. He likes the dog that's gonna fetch, go get the ball, go swimming with him in the lake, that kind of thing. So, I mean, I think Teddy is definitely one of those kind of dogs.
Yeah.
But it sounds like you took him from a very bad place. Like, he was really rescued by you.
Yeah, yeah. I definitely think that. And Teddy specifically has a really cool story that I think in a lot of ways is kind of like mine. He had a really rough start. I'm a recovering drug addict, and I didn't know at the time that I seen that post that he was what I needed, but it definitely was the universe or God putting in my life what I needed at the time. And yeah, we definitely rescued him, but he absolutely rescued us.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah.
So, I just, you know, I think this is a really important part of what pets are in a life. And to me, with the pandemic, and a lot of my followers, you know, share their stories, and I know several of the followers have had pets pass away, just like we have. It's been really rough. And some of those folks, you know, have gone through alcoholism, drugs, all kinds of things. And I just wanted to take a minute to recognize how healing pets are, and how they can help you through some of the roughest times in your life. It doesn't always have to be a fur baby.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, some people are allergic to fur. Okay, I get that.
Yeah.
But you know, a pet is something that takes the focus off of you and helps you focus on something more than yourself.
Yeah.
And I believe when you give love, you get love back.
I think so too. And I think the biggest thing for me is that Teddy gives me a sense of accountability. When I wake up in the morning, Teddy needs to go for one of those. I can't say it because he'll tear the front door down.
God. Yes.
But he gives me a sense of accountability, which is important for me, and routine.
Very routine, right?
Yeah, and if you're somebody like me who's either had drugs or alcohol or whatever type of, you know, substance abuse issues, routine is a major part in keeping yourself on the straight and narrow.
Yeah, you have to. The number one thing I always I told Elsa and David is to focus.
Yeah.
You have to have focus, and you have to have almost like, it's routine, but it's even more than that. I think it's like, it's being organized. Really.
Yeah.
And as long as you feel like you can organize, accomplish, and move forward, you're making progress.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a real feeling of accomplishment, you know.
Yeah. I always say that the human mind needs that feeling that you get after you set out to do a job and you complete it, that feeling that you get afterwards. The human mind has to have that. If you take that away, then you fall into some.
Oh yeah, it releases some powerful enzymes or whatever. I don't know what it is, but endorphins maybe.
Sure.
So how many dogs have you had?
I had a poodle growing up, which was a far cry from what I have now, named Baby. And he was a good dog, and we had him for like 16 years.
They're super smart.
They are very smart, yeah. And then I had some other dogs. I had a Chihuahua while I was in high school when we filmed 16
They're
Pregnant.
fierce.
Yeah, he was. I had a long-haired Chihuahua named Paris. He was naughty, but and then before Teddy, I had a blue-nosed pit bull named Cash.
Wow.
And Cash was he was a cool dog and very smart. And then, Teddy's been the next one.
You know what I found, you know, not having any dog when I grew up, I always thought the bigger the dog, the longer they live.
Yeah.
And then it's like the reverse, and I'm like, wow. So what's the life expectancy when a dog is almost 100 pounds?
Given his breed and his bloodline, we're assuming maybe 12 to 13 years.
Okay, well that's really good.
Yeah. The only thing he does have, pit bulls are very prone to bad allergies. So Teddy has to eat special food, a lot of homemade food, and we actually raw feed him sometimes, which is like, you order raw steak and chicken, and the dogs can eat that
That's
with the bone.
actually healthier, is what I found out.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it takes away, if we just give him like Purina, his hair falls out and he gets real itchy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, and we did that with Elsa. Well,
Mhm.
David was doing that with Elsa.
Yeah.
He said, oh, this is scientifically, he had this friend who had his own line of dog food. And so he said to me, I remember this because this is when I met him up in Michigan. We got to go pick up Elsa's dog food. So he'd go get these ginormous bags.
Yeah.
You know, I can't pick it up. And then he'd put it in Elsa's bowl. And I'd watch Elsa and she'd like, ooh, I don't really. And you know, a pet's smart.
Sure.
These dogs and cats can sense if something's not, you
Normal
know,
or not what they're used to, for sure.
sketchy. So anyway, one day when he was at work, I got the pet food, the scientifically advanced pet food, and I took it over to one of my neighbors who couldn't afford the food for their dog.
Mhm.
And I said, maybe you could use this. And then I went over to, I think it was Target. They have those refrigerators with
Yep. The fresh
full-
pet, that's what
yeah,
Teddy eats.
the fresh pet. And I tried some of that on Elsa, and oh my gosh, she loved it. And guess what? Her fur stopped falling out.
Yep. Sorry, he's gonna come on.
And that's when I started cooking for Elsa.
Yep.
And so really to help her after she had been poisoned by this crazy veterinarian, what I did was I started cooking her homemade squash,
Oh yeah.
the butternut squash.
Yep.
Her coat was amazing. And boy, Teddy's coat is like silk
Yeah.
and it's shiny.
Yeah. He uses a super high grade hyperallergen antimicrobial shampoo because with them getting itchy is they'll also bite at their skin and causes a red rash and an infection. So he does have to have that. I'm so sorry.
He's trying to lick my
He just
ear.
got a mind of his own. But yeah, we definitely have to keep up on it with the grooming and stuff like that, especially being this big of a dog in the house. You have to keep up on the hair and stuff. So
Oh, definitely. So do you have one of those?
Teddy.
It's the fur.
Yes.
It's turning him on. Do you have one of those robots that go out and vacuum?
I don't. I'm old fashioned. I'm a broom and Murphy's oil soap once a
There
week.
you go.
Yeah, I have to keep up on it by hand. We have hardwood floors all throughout for a reason because it's
Yeah.
too much.
And when you have a pet, that's a really good thing.
Yeah.
Because it makes a quick job out of picking things
For
up.
sure.
So tell me how well integrated are Benson and Teddy in the house when things are calm?
So Benson and Teddy now live a very harmonious lifestyle. Benson's 8, so I've had her for a while, the whole time that I've been sober. And when she's always been the only animal, so when he came home, she was less than thrilled. But they've really gotten to know one another a lot better. They nap on each other. They sleep in our bed at night, so they get along pretty well now. But sometimes she does act up, and if he starts to bark at her or anything like that, I mean, she slaps him pretty good sometimes. But we keep her clawed, so she's defendable.
So now I'm going to get a little more personal, and I don't mean anything too much by it. So I just know that when Elsa used to try to sleep in our bed, and I was like laying very close to David, she was very jealous.
Mm-hmm.
And she would just take all of her, well, she was only, about 80 pounds at that moment. But still, she would come and she would push David over and she would lay right on top of me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is mine, he's mine, you can't have him kind of thing.
Yep.
So what happens here?
So we always had just a regular queen size bed, and since he's grown up, we've had to get a California King platform, and it's pretty much the same thing. If he and I are having a conversation and we're laughing, or somebody is talking loud while they're laughing, he gets very defensive, and will immediately get right between us.
So he thinks you're in danger.
Yeah. So if you and I were laughing, or if you stood up and I walked at you really quick, he would come stand right in front of you and keep me from coming at you.
Oh my.
Yeah. And it always seems to be he can understand who the aggressor is in the situation.
Well, dogs, I gotta tell you, I think dogs, cats, even monkeys, you know, I've had some experience with them. I think they have a very emotionally high intelligence level.
Yeah.
You know, they may not be able to talk like we talk. Wow, that was a big one. But boy, they're reading the body language.
Yeah.
And David told me something interesting the other day. He said most dogs have a pheromone sensor.
Mm-hmm.
So whether you understand it or not, you're always giving off pheromones.
Yeah.
And he goes, the minute somebody is intimidated by a dog, a cat, whatever,
They sense it.
pheromones are shooting out. So then the dogs get all worked up.
Yeah. And another thing about Teddy, and I'm sure Elsa was the same way, the energy in the room, the dog can feel it immediately. You're married, so I'm sure you do the same thing. You know, you'll say something, or he'll say something, and you have a disagreement. You're like, I'm not going to talk to you the rest of the day. That tension in the house, the dogs can feel it.
Oh yeah.
And he'll walk around the house crying, and he just wants everybody to be happy and get along.
Well, he sure loves you, that's for sure. It's just such a picture postcard. He's like, oh yeah. He goes, I'll take every bit of love I can get. And you know, it doesn't look like it, but looking at him right now, but a few minutes ago when I came in, the postman came up here. And it was classic. I don't know what it is about the uniform, but the dogs hate postmen.
Yes.
And so he was like going right up to the door and like being very intimidating.
We have to keep the mini blinds up. Usually they're down right now due to the camera, but if not, Teddy will tear the mini blinds right out of the window.
Oh
so
my
during the day, we have to like have them lifted up 3/4 of the way so he doesn't. I mean, some of the little things are broke on them now, but.
Well, not to get too personal, but I'm gonna take my camera and I'm gonna bring it down here on your couch.
Yeah.
So people can see what's going on there. But tell us the story about what happened to your $3,000
Yeah.
couch
So
here.
right after the pandemic happened, we purchased new furniture, and this is the byproduct if you don't have a declawed cat.
Oh my goodness.
She has a scratch post. She has all of that. But when she wants my attention, she comes after my couch.
So you're telling me that the cat is jealous of
the dog, and she'll do things like that.
So she's saying to you, hey, I don't like that you're not paying attention to me.
So I'm gonna tear up your couch, and it's on this side too. She does it on all of the corners.
Wow.
I think that that's an important piece to remember too. That's part of having an animal too. You know, I don't necessarily believe in modifying pets from their original. Like I believe in spaying and neutering, but I would never crop his ears or declaw. It's just part of having an animal. So.
Well, and that's something. Honestly, I'm glad you brought that up. I've never understood about, like my neighbors had, I'm trying to think of what they're called. They're the really large dogs that are, they're not pit bulls, they're
Like a mastiff.
They're like that, but they're a little bit skinnier looking. Anyway, Dobermans. Dobermans.
Yep.
They're a very regal looking animal.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, why do they like cut their tails off and,
I couldn't do it.
you know, do bob ears and,
Yeah, I don't think I could ever. I would rather that little corner of my couch be tore up than yank her toenails out of her.
ooh.
I just couldn't do it.
So what happens when these two go at it and she's got her claws?
Well, Benson rules the house for sure. He lives with her. He lives in her house for sure, and he tries to establish dominance, but she's an alpha and she doesn't take any crap. So in the mornings when I go up, I work from home, and when she goes in the office, he's not to come in there. He stays in bed because she just wants to have peace and quiet in the morning.
What kind of kitty is she?
She is she's actually she was actually a barn cat.
Really?
She was a barn cat, yep. And somebody brought her in, and when I got her, they're like, she won't quit meowing. Well, she had become in heat for the first time, so I got her spayed, and that was it.
And now she's normal?
Now she's normal. Yep. She was a little itty bitty tiny thing, and then she got fixed, and now she's a big girl. She's chunky, yeah.
Do you think that you might be able to find her for like 2 minutes?
Yeah, let me see.
So we can introduce you guys. And I'm sure Benson wants to see. Uh-oh, Teddy. Teddy's on the move. All right. This is his bone. It's a great big giant wishbone. And I think it's so cute. He loves that bone. He adores it. Oh, Teddy, did you find Benson? Did you?
She's not underneath her bed. I'm not sure where she is.
Uh-oh, well.
Check my office real quick. She's not over there.
Teddy's very concerned. He doesn't want his world upside down, so.
She was at the top of the stairs with just her head looking down. Trying to see you.
Oh my goodness, she is a big girl.
Teddy, be nice.
Teddy's at least wagging his tail. Oh my, look.
See how he protects her?
He is. He's all over her like, hey man, that's mine. And he's licking her. Okay. Oh my God. He's licking her like crazy.
Okay.
Oh. Oh my God, it's just like on TV.
Well, that was quick. That's okay.
Well, I think you've got lovely pets.
Thank you.
And I think it's just really cute how they like each other and they play. I mean, that was a good example.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like they would be totally incompatible.
Yeah. Yeah. She definitely rules the roost with him, though, for sure.
So is there any last thing that you wanted to share about having a dog and a cat and any other special things that you have to do to make sure that everybody's happy in the house?
Yeah, make sure you take your time and make sure you're in depth with what the animal needs before you add another one. So I had Benson for a while, so I'm really in.
Wow, what was that?
I'm pretty in tune with what Benson's needs look like and what she appreciates, making sure that I stay true to those even though I have another animal. And then the same thing with Teddy, just understanding, Benson, they get along fine. If I pick Benson up and I'm holding him, it sends him into a tailspin.
Oh my.
Because he just wants to know what's going on with her,
So when you go, I'm assuming that you take Teddy to the dog park or something.
No, well, we go right up to Memorial Park.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yep.
So does the cat get jealous about that, or do you take the cat out?
She's grateful he's gone for it.
Well, I can
She's grateful.
understand that too, yeah. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah,
I really appreciate your hospitality today. And it was nice getting to know Teddy. He's worried about the lights and the cameras now. But Teddy has had his big debut. And I'm glad I wore this first. Do you think I'm part animal? All right. Well, thank you, Tyler.
Thank you very much.